Every time you fill your car with petrol, somewhere in the world a transaction happens in US dollars. Every time Japan buys oil from the UAE, US dollars. India buys from Iraq, US dollars. Why? India has the rupee, China has the yuan, Europe has the euro. Why does the entire world need American dollars just to buy oil? The answer is a secret deal made in the desert in 1974. A deal that made America the most financially powerful nation in history. A deal that is now, for the first time, beginning to crack. This is the story of the petrodollar and why America will go to almost any length to protect it. To understand the petrodollar, you need to go back to 1944. World War II is almost over. Europe is in ruins. America is the only major economy left standing. Leaders from 44 countries meet in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire to rebuild the global financial system. They make a decision. The US dollar will be the world's reserve currency. Every other currency would be pegged to the dollar. And the dollar itself would be backed by gold. 1 ounce of gold, $35, fixed, guaranteed. For 25 years, this system worked. America was trusted. The dollar was as good as gold. Then in August 1971, everything changed. America had been spending enormously on the Vietnam War, on social programs. Printing dollars, it did not have gold to back. Countries started getting nervous. France actually sent warship to New York to collect gold in exchange for their dollars. President Nixon had no choice. On August 15, 1971, he ended the gold standard permanently. The dollar was no longer backed by anything. And overnight, America faced a terrifying question. Why would the world keep using dollars if they are not backed by gold? The answer came from the most unlikely place on earth, the Saudi desert. 1973, OPEC, an intergovernmental organization led by Saudi Arabia, launches an oil embargo against United States. The reason, the America supported Israel in Yom Kippur War. The result? Oil prices spiked to levels the world had never seen. Americans sat in lines for hours just to fill their tank. The economy went into shock. America had never felt so vulnerable. But Secretary of State Henry Kissinger saw something others did not. He saw an opportunity. In 1974, Kissinger flew to Saudi Arabia and made a proposal to King Faisal. It was elegant, it was ruthless, and it would reshape the entire world. The deal had two parts. Part 1, Saudi Arabia would price all its oil exclusively in US dollars. Every barrel, every sale, to every country on earth, dollars only. Part 2, Saudi Arabia would take the billions of dollars it earned from oil and invest them back into US Treasury bonds, financing the American government. In exchange, America gave Saudi Arabia something priceless: military protection, weapons, guaranteed security. American soldiers to protect the Saudi royal family forever. The rest of the OPEC fell into the line within months. The petrodollar system was born. And with it, America had solved its problem in the most powerful way imaginable. It had backed the dollar not with gold, but with oil, the one resource every country on earth needed. Now let us understand exactly how this machine works. Because once you see it, you will understand everything. Step 1. Saudi Arabia and OPEC sell oil. Every barrel is priced in dollars. This means China needs dollars to buy oil. India needs dollars. Japan, Korea, Germany, Brazil, every country on earth needs a reserve of US dollars just to keep their energy supply running. This creates a permanent global demand for the US dollar. Step 2. Saudi Arabia earns hundreds of billions of dollars from oil sales. But Saudi Arabia does not need all those dollars for itself. It is a small country with a small population. So what does it do with the money? It buys US Treasury bonds. It invests in American companies. It deposits money in American banks. This is called petrodollar recycling. Step 3. All those dollars flowing into US Treasury allow America to borrow money at extremely low interest rates. America can run massive budget deficits, spend far more than it earns, and still find buyers for its debt. Because the whole world is swimming in dollars, it needs to park somewhere. Step 4. America uses the cheap borrowed money to fund its military, its technology, its global influence, which it then uses to protect the petrodollar system. It is a self-reinforcing loop. Oil creates dollar demand funds America. America protects the oil system creates more dollar demand. For 50 years, this machine has run without stopping. And it has given America something no empire in history has ever had: the ability to print money and have the entire world absorb it. Now, you might be wondering, is this really worth going to war over? Let's look at the evidence. In 2000, Saddam Hussein announced that Iraq would start selling its oil in euros, not dollars. 3 years later, America invaded Iraq. The official reason? Weapons of mass destruction. None were ever found. The first thing American forces secured in Baghdad was not a weapon facility, it was the oil ministry. In 2009, Muammar Gaddafi proposed something even more dangerous to the petrodollar. He wanted to create a pan-African gold currency, a gold dinar, for African nations to sell their oil and resources, bypassing the dollar entirely. In 2011, NATO, led by the United States, bombed Libya. Gaddafi was killed. The gold dinar was never mentioned again. Iran has been under American sanctions for decades, and America waged war against Iran because it sells oil outside the dollar system to countries willing to pay in other currencies. The pattern is consistent. Any nation that seriously threatens the petrodollar system faces American military action, sanctions, or regime change. This is not a conspiracy theory, this is a foreign policy. Documented, consistent, predictable. But here is where the story gets interesting. For the first time in 50 years, the petrodollar system is showing cracks. Russia and China now settle nearly all their oil trades in non-dollar currencies. India has been buying Russian oil in rupees. Saudi Arabia, America's original partner in this deal, has held talks with China about accepting yuan for oil. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, are actively building alternative payment system to bypass the dollar. And the central banks around the world are buying gold at the fastest rate since 1967. Why gold? Because the gold cannot be sanctioned. It cannot be frozen. It is no one's liability. When America weaponized the dollar by freezing Russia's foreign reserves in 2022, every country in the world took note. If it could happen to Russia, it could happen to anyone. The petrodollar is not dead. Not yet. The dollar still accounts for nearly 60% of global foreign exchange reserves. But that number was 71% in 2001. The direction is clear. The question is not if the petrodollar era ends. The question is what comes after and how far will America go to stop it. America is the most powerful nation in history. But that power was not built only on democracy or innovation or military strength. It was built on a deal made in a desert in 1974. A deal that turned oil into dollars and dollars into power. A deal that lets America spend more than it earns indefinitely. A deal that has shaped every major conflict in the Middle East for the last 50 years. Next time you hear about American troops in the Middle East or conflict with any nation trying to price oil in other currency, remember 1974. Remember the deal in the desert. Because almost everything that happens in global geopolitics flows from that single moment. If this changed how you see the world, share it with someone who needs to understand how money and power really work. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.